up, y'all? Welcome back to the Sunshine Way. I am your lovely host, Chiya. And in today's video, y'all, we got a good one. A really good one. In today's video, I'm going to be showing y'all how to properly prepare for your interview and how to properly present yourself on the day of the interview. Now, in this video, I'm going to be presenting some things that's mostly for teachers, teacher aides, paraprofessionals, or anybody trying to work with children. But these interview tips can be used in any interview for any job. I'm going to have a lot of basic tips in here, but a lot of specific tips for those working with children. So if that's the video that you would like to see, please stay tuned. And without further ado, please give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. When preparing for an interview, it's very important to remember a couple of things. Number one, how bad do I want this job? Number two, how important is this job to my passion and into my purpose in this world? And number three, what makes me unique? Whether that's your personality, certain characteristics that you have, certain accomplishments that you have, whatever the case may be, what makes you unique and perfect for this job? So the first thing that we want to get into when it comes to the interview tips is how to prepare. So we have preparedness broken down into two categories. You have your physical preparedness, and you have your mental preparedness. So we're going to start with the physical preparedness. So the physical preparedness, things that you want to pay attention to, is your outfits, because it's important when you're going into an interview to look presentable, or as they like to say, dress for the job that you want. So when it comes to working with children, depending on what the job is, you want to dress as if you're working with children, but also as if you're working in an office, because you want to give that professional look, but you also don't want to be so dressed up. Like, we're not going to be running after kids in 4-inch heels. Like, I'm not. So, you know what I mean? Like, think about that. And if you're going into an interview for something else, say the job is construction, then you want to dress appropriately for that job. More than likely, you want to dress business casual or business for your interview. The next thing is your hair. Now, I have natural hair, so I'm not going to be the one to say make sure your hair looks presentable, because presentable is in the eye of the beholder, whoever is looking at you, the interviewer. But whatever your hair looks nice to you, whatever best fits you, your personality, whatever says you, wear your hair in that way, because the thing is, you want them to like you for who you are. No, you're not going to go in there looking a total hot mess, look like you just rolled out of bed and like one side of your hair is like this and the other side like that. Like, no, you're not going to do that. Okay? If you're a guy, you're going to get your little nice little shape up. If you're a girl, you know, twist your hair the night before, or pull your hair up into a high puff and do your edges. You know what I mean? Like, make it look nice, make it look cute. Okay? The next thing and the last thing for physical preparedness, you want to pick out your jewelry. So jewelry to me says a lot about a person. So whatever vibes you want to give off, then like that's the type of jewelry. If you want to go like, I'm a rich boss, you know, like I'm about to come in here and slay your life, then that's what your jewelry should say. If you want to be a chill hippie who get along with everybody, then that's what your jewelry should say. No, that might not be you all the time, but if that's the vibe you want to get off, then that's the vibe you need to give off. All right, now let's go into mental preparedness. So the first thing is prepare answers to questions. So think about some questions that you think that the interviewer will ask you, and come up with answers to those. Do not come without any preparedness. No, you're not going to know every single question that they're going to ask, but if you read the job description, or if you know what someone typically does on the job that you're going for, then you need to go ahead and prepare some answers in your head. Like if you're going to a plant or a factory job and they're going to ask you, do you know how to drive a forklift? Do you have forklift experience? Then you already going to think about that question. What you're going to say to that question and how you're going to prove to them that you know about that. Now when it comes to teaching, which is what this video is specifically about, you want to think about curriculum, lesson planning, dealing with classroom management and kid behavior. You want to think about how you're going to plan the environments and the wellness of your class, how you're going to treat different students of different races or different genders or different backgrounds, how are you going to treat these children, how are you going to teach them specific contents. This is just different things that they may ask you in there. Another thing that's important when you're a teacher or you're going for a paraprofessional teacher, aide teacher, is think about what was your childhood experience when it comes to school or after school programs or things that you did as a kid. So use your childhood experiences, use your own children, like if you have kids yourself, use your experiences with them. And last but not least, if you have experience with kids, then use those experiences while you're answering the questions. The number 2 key to your mental preparedness is practice, but don't rehearse. So don't rehearse your lines word for word. Don't write down like a word for word statement, but do practice like what would you say, and practice having confidence, because they love to see people with confidence. The 3rd key is think about what makes you unique and your personality and your character. So this is something that I was saying earlier. Think about like, what am I bringing to the table? What am I like offering like that's different from everybody? What connections, what things do I have? What am I bringing to the table that makes me unique, that stands out? And the reason why they essentially need you, like why do they need you? And then how can they help you? So how can they help you as far as benefiting and growing and things like that? The next key is to think about your mission and your why and your how. So what brings you to education? What brings you to kids? And if you're doing an interview for another job, what brings you like what brings you to that job? What drives you to that job? What caught your eye about that job? And what's your purpose in being there? So your why, like what do you plan to complete while you're there, and how do you plan to fulfill that mission? And then if you're going to a school or if you're going to an after school program or anything like that, they usually have missions and values and stuff like that. So how do you relate to those mission and values, and how do you plan to like live those mission and values out? And then last but not least is the day of the interview. So the day of the interview, you want to wake up early to avoid rushing, because you don't want to rush, because you're going to end up like missing a step, like clothes wrinkled or hair just looking crazy, or like you're not able to truly deal with your nervousness and plan ahead. The next thing you want to do is eat something that won't mess up your stomach. So of course you want to eat something because you don't want to be hungry and you want your mind to be focused, and food does help with focusing. And then you don't want to eat something that's going to tear up your stomach, because you don't want to be in an interview and like your stomach start acting crazy. Like you don't want that. So eat something that's not going to mess up your stomach. Drink water, because you do want to be hydrated, and show up to the interview 5 to 10 minutes early. Now, the reason why I don't say 15 to 30 minutes early is because you don't want to seem too eager. Okay, we're not desperate. Okay, we need them and they need us. Okay, we're not acting desperate. We really want the job, but we don't want to seem too eager. You don't want to seem like you doing too much, or you're gonna be aggravating extra, or you're gonna be like doing the most. Okay. And you don't want them to set their expectation like, oh, if I get this job, I'm going to show up an hour early every day. Like, not me. So 5-10 minutes early is perfect. Gives them time to prepare for you. and prepare for the interview, and it lets them know that you're serious about the job. The next thing is, don't be intimidated by the interviewers. More than likely it'll be more than one, and the reason why they usually have more than one interviewer is because they're trying to get different perspectives. Different people think different ways, and if all these different people is looking at you and looking at your answers, then you might have somebody that say, I don't really like when she said that, or he didn't really fit into it. But then you might have another person like, no, this is why she was so dope, this is why he is perfect for this job. So they need those different perspectives, and they're human just like us, and they had to go through an interview process just like us. So don't be intimidated by them. Just go in there with confidence, doing the best you can. And that goes to my next tip for the day of the interview, is speak confidently at all times. They want to know that you know what you're talking about, that you're happy to be here, and that like, I can step into any situation in any room and I'm gonna kill it. And that's on everything. Okay, and then the next thing you want to do is look them in the eye, and you want to have a good handshake, good firm handshake. People tend to take you more serious when you do that, and they seem that you're much. Now, we're not squeezing people's hands so they have no life, and we're not staring at people, but you can like look at the wall behind them, and they'll feel like you're looking at them, but you're not really looking at them. And then last but not least, pray. So pray the day of the interview before you go into the interview, and pray after you leave the interview, because God be working things, honey. And if you really want that job, God, we need you to work it, and then thank God for the manifestation. So literally say to yourself, that is the job for me. I really want that job. That job is mine, and say thank you, God, for that job. Manifest that thing. Okay, so those were all my tips for preparing for your interview, physically and mentally, and then what you should do on the day of the interview. Now, I hope that all these tips really help you in your interview process, whether you're interviewing for a factory, a library, a gas station, a fast food restaurant, any other restaurant, a retail store, and most importantly, if you're interviewing to be an educator or in a system where you're working with children, then these interview tips definitely, most importantly, will help you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, please give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you tap that notification bell so you can be notified every time your girl upload. And remember, be humble, be inspiring, be kind, y'all, and don't forget to shine. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.